What's going on, family, and welcome to the GCO Network podcast, where it is our mission and our duty to keep the masses informed about what's going on in the Gambia and around the Gambia. My bad, I got a little thing over here named Yaya who is sucking up my attention, but that's all right because bills got to be paid, right, GCO?
Right on.
But again, where it is our mission and our duty to keep the masses informed about what's going on in and around the Gambia and how to thrive when making the transition to the motherland. You already know it's your girl, Africa, thriving and vibing with Willie J and Zadi and Adam. How y'all feeling today?
Doing great.
It's warm over here where we at. It's 85 degrees over here. And everybody is out.
It's hot.
They out. They in the streets.
Yeah, it's hot.
The street sign.
They in the streets.
hey, people got their toes out today. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
It's out today.
Yeah. Summer finally, sorry.
Nice.
That's good. Yeah, it felt good over here down in North Carolina today. So we was outside thriving and vibing in the sun. You know how it is. Get that good old vitamin D. But who got the quote of the day?
You know I got it.
I got it.
All right. So today, family, we're gonna take it to a different direction. So today we're gonna come from an African proverb. Okay. So here we go.
Who's had the drums?
Once you carry your own water, you will learn the value of every drop.
That's deep. That's pressure. That's pressure. That's just like when you were a kid. Your mom said, wait till you get your own money. You're gonna spend it different.
Hey, and this applies in so many facets of life and just about every single facet of life, actually. So, listen, you don't know what it is to pay bills till you have to pay bills.
Right, that's the only way.
You don't know what it is to buy something with your own money till you have to buy something with your own money. So
exactly,
and you don't know what it is to understand the value of time till you have to spend your own, right? So
yeah,
that is where I really pulled that from the day that I read that touched me. So I figured I'd share that with the masses.
Yeah, that's an important one, and I hope we keeping these quotes of the day in our book that we gonna sell to y'all. Y'all hear what I just said? I hope so. I'm trying to write them off. We're gonna sell them to you. But anyway, we got anything for the news of the day?
All right, so right now there's some news about there's continuous news about the BRICS situation and who's joining and who's doing what, and there was talk about what Nigeria had attempted to do by cutting off ATMs and allowing folks to only have X amount of bills, large bills, and things of that nature. And a lot of that stuff is still happening. And really what's happening is that they're just really trying to figure out this whole credit CDBC system, this whole how is it gonna work, right? And in some of these places, they may have the digital infrastructure to support it, but having the digital infrastructure to support it versus the actual logistics of it operating in everyday life and business with everybody is the choke point. That is the crux of the matter, pretty much. So
absolutely,
that's what they're really trying to work out.
What do you think about the what do you think about the SGA? You remember that the post we were talking about about the SGAs in different countries that are uniting within the next 10 years to turn into digital currency?
I mean, digital money was always on the way.
Yes.
Yeah, digital money was always on the way. It was always going to happen, but it was always in what format was it going to happen, right? How was it going to be started? How was it going to be pushed out? And how was it going to be received? And then what the one word that applies to all of us, and that's impact, right? So what was the impact going to be, or what is the impact of going to digital currency? Because now essentially you're saying all of a sudden you lose immediate buying power with those notes with the US dollar. And now you're saying that those dollars are pretty much useless to a point. So I mean, the introduction of something like this, I feel like in my small time of really trying to research this, is we're gonna have to be very patient and see how these things really gonna pan out, not just in America but abroad, specifically on the continent of Africa. Because it'll be something different if we had a complete full African Union where we had our own currency at some point, not 54 different currencies and stuff like that. Like, for instance, if you say, what's the impact? Well, what is today's rate right now? Somebody check today's rate for Gambia. What is the conversion rate for today?
Mm-hmm.
So
let's see what we can get the conversion rate.
Last time
we'll get real quick. We know what we linked.
Yeah, my Google says 60.2.
So you said 60.2?
Yeah, that's what my Google said.
Right. So last week, guys. So and this is just another part of doing business too abroad, right? So something else we can talk to our listeners about is, if you say what's the impact of what the daily rate is, or what the rate conversion rate is where you're doing business, it impacts you immediately, right? It impacts you from the standpoint of purchasing, ordering, and just daily support of your own business, right? If you have a delivery service, that's affecting how much of your dollar is impactful to putting fuel in your vehicle, or how much of your dollar is impactful for you actually coming and buying inventory or support items for your particular business, whatever that may be. So as current and future business owners, you always have to be abreast of what's going on with the daily rate. What's the impact? Why is it like that? And I mean, that's just, like I said, that's just my small piece on it. And this is information, as we do here on GCO, this is information that can be looked up and found and corroborated. And we're not saying anything that's out of pocket, or we're not speaking to anything that's not readily available via Google or whatever other search engine you want to use.
Yeah, we only deal in facts.
Absolutely. Right. You can pull it up. Otherwise, we won't say it. All right. So with that being said, let's move on to our topic of the day. So how can diaspora and Gambians collaborate and communicate effectively? And to get the conversation jumping, we're going to start with media. So what are the importance of different media outlets? YouTube, all social media, WhatsApp groups, which seems to be big, especially in the Gambia, and my daughter agrees. So what y'all think about that?
Well, personally, as far as media goes, I think media plays a pivotal role in any country, any community, from the individual up to the government. I feel like media plays a pivotal role. And right now, that's something that the Gambia can definitely capitalize off of. I feel like it's definitely a sector that can have growth in, all the way from creators on YouTube. And like you were saying, WhatsApp is a big thing in Gambia, how they have the groups. And with our topic today, which is how to get, diasporans and locals to collaborate better in the Gambia specifically, that's a big deal, because if we can get specific groups where we can get proper cohesion of both groups, that's what we need to facilitate that growth. As far as, and that's just WhatsApp. And there's individuals like Wodamai on YouTube,
right,
and the YouTube sphere. There's a lot of different influencers in Gambia that's growing, that's putting out the message of Gambia and changing the narrative, because a lot of people look at Africa period in a negative light. So we need more of the media aspect in Gambia. I feel like we need more development, and that's a big spur that will help push everything forward.
Right. And I think that it'll start bringing people together.
right.
So we can all start to kind of, I don't want to say combine cultures, but that's essentially what it will become.
Yes.
And it'll be a whole new kind of like movie style, a whole new kind of TV show style. It will be so different. And it probably will be very educational for our kids. And it'd be more educational movies, more educational shows, and less of what the kids have now.
Yeah, Gambia needs its own, media studios and different centers where you can shoot movies, shoot TV shows, and documentaries. They have a monkey park, they have a alligator park, they have hippos and things of that nature. You can just set up a camera, have its own National Geographic station. But Gambia doesn't have that. And that's a clear money sector, right there, open market. So that's my little 2 cents on it.
Yeah, I'm definitely with that. On the production side of things, that's big time, and I definitely see some room for growth there, mass room for growth. And with that being said, how can we utilize social media for as far as language and literacy? Because we know they speak different languages, about 7 or more in Gambia specifically, though English, quote unquote, supposedly, the main language, but still the comprehension of it is different. And that even goes, in the US, because I can say something and you might not know what I'm talking about slang wise, right? So that crosses over big time. And she agrees. She really agrees with me. That crosses over big time on the continent. So how do you guys think that language and literacy can be used to help collaborate, and then also utilizing the media for that sector as well?
Well,
go ahead, Will. What you think?
Right. So there's something that I believe it definitely is a space for the government initially, because there is English taught in the schools there in Gambia to local young budding Gambian kids, right? But you all know, learning to speak it fluently and learning to speak it intelligibly and being literate is it's necessary for you to be able to communicate, first of all, and also it's necessary for you to be able to conduct yourselves in society and in business. And really, this is something that the government could probably benefit from if more time and energy was invested into that.
Definitely.
Yes, I agree.
Now, I would say, and this is just me, I'm just saying, if there are some retired teachers, if there are some retired instructors or TEFL folks that are willing to contribute or even want to become part of a podcast and have some insight and some information that they could share with a GCO Network, by all means,
that'd be great.
Reach out, and we'll have all our contact information in the description. But reach out and set up a time with us, and we'd be glad to entertain that and let somebody speak to some of the solutions that there could be to help assist with this. Because being literate, it really is a must for you to communicate, for you to conduct yourself in whatever culture or society, and specifically to do business. Because primarily, everything is done in English to a degree. So, but definitely there's room for some solutions, either privatized, like the position I'm really speaking about now, and put some of those retired teachers to work, those old English teachers or those seasoned, I should say, English teachers, or folks that are willing just to take the time out and have a teaching background, and willing to support that, because that is an opportunity to give back and support something like this.
Big time. And that's a great way for the young and old to start coming together and to start working together and start building and collaborating for Gambians and diaspora, because I mean, I ain't saying Will old or nothing, because he not. I'm just saying we in different ages.
Right.
We different ages. So this is a prime example of like diaspora coming together, 2 different generations, and working together and making a great impact. And so now think if we include even younger people, which we are, because why? We all have children.
Right.
So now in the diaspora, we're practicing as diaspora, we're practicing what we're preaching. You see? Right. So when it comes to the Gambians, how do you think we can collaborate in that way, as far as all of us together, diaspora and the Gambians, younger and older? Because I know older Gambians, it just, I guess, depending on how much older, there a lot of them that I have met are in the villages that I've met. They're just seen in a different light. It's just more of a respect thing, from what I've seen. So how do you think we can connect with them, with younger and older, as diaspora?
Well, personally, I feel like, when it comes to the collaboration as far as diasporans and the locals and the old and young connection is very important. Now, as diasporans, we bring sometimes we bring a mentality from the West where it's like, okay, if I'm older, then I'm more domineering. What I say goes. I really don't want to listen to anybody that's young. And so going to Gambia, that could translate over into a negative way. And then you see disrespectful, and the collaboration in business that you could have had could be negative. And you see a lot of times where some people are getting robbed, some people are having different situations all through Africa. And if you look at it, it really starts from a level of respect. So that old and young divide that you have coming from the West, it's like a reprogramming we have to do to shift that mindset, to say, okay, you may be young, but I can still work with you. Okay, you may be older, but I can still work with you. Because at the end of the day, collaboration, as we say in GCO, is celebration.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
So I'm all about bridge building, right? And that's pretty much what we do here at GCO. And I just think if you can find somebody that can be that conduit or that bridge builder and fill that gap or bridge that gap between the decades and the age groups, and first of all, come with the mindset that I am willing and open to learning something new, to understanding you better, you understand me better. And if you find somebody like that, or if you're able to run across someone like that, that is somebody that you definitely need to connect with in order to bridge those gaps and stuff. Because you have to find a bridge, right? Because when you start talking about, like, for instance, I'm a 70s baby, right? So that there's been quite a few bridges I've had to cross.
Just a couple.
So, but you guys already know, family, that it's about mindset, and really, your whole mindset got to be together for you.
Gotta be.
I'm just gonna keep it 1,000. Your mindset has to be together. Get yourself together before you come over here.
Reprogramming.
Right. And it's more than just talk, man. It's not. I'm pissing people off. it's not cliche-ish, right?
Take your time.
It's just not cliche-ish. If you, when you start talking about mindset, you're talking about you're gonna have to take some time. You know, you can't flip your mindset in the 16 or 24 hour flight schedule on the way to the Gambia. You know what I'm saying? So this is something that has to happen at your home station, basically, wherever you are before you come here, and understand that. So, you know, but if you can do that, if you can find somebody to help you with that, and I say bridge building, right? Because you'll need somebody already on that younger side or that older side that's willing to communicate, and then at some point bridge that gap of communication and understanding, and then be able to have those conversations that we need to have in order for all of us to be successful and all of us to understand what the common goal is, and what the common direction is. Okay. And that just, in my humble opinion, is how we approach that.
Yeah, and I totally agree. So what do you think, or how do you think the government can help with that? As far as collaboration, bro? Yeah, as far as collaboration.
So,
I think. Well, go ahead, Will.
There are some young folks that are in the government, right? There are some. The Gambian government does support its young folks to a degree. It's just a matter. I think it's just a matter of energizing that more, right? So maybe not just one workshop or one conference, because they do have youth conferences in Gambia that are hosted by the government, and they do support young folks that want to enter politics and enter government, and they do support that. So it's just a matter of them really energizing that more so than they are right now, and then being able to recognize what that need and requirement is. And, you know, somebody from that community, has to do that.
Right. Because that's not us. We can't do that.
Right. Right.
And I think as far as like the diasporans and the locals collaborating, how the government can actually help that is like, okay, so here in America, specific groups and communities that come over, that immigrate here, they get, tax breaks, or they get where they don't have to pay taxes for 4 or 5 years at a time. Different things of that nature could help repats that are coming to actually be able to have more money to build businesses and facilitate that collaboration back and forth. And then also communication, there could be different apparatuses built, like as far as you can go to a certain office and you can get in contact with other local businesses, and that creates another conduit of communication between the diasporans coming and the locals that are already there. So the government can play a vital role in that too, as far as setting up different establishments and offices to help with that communication and collaboration. Also laws too.
Yeah, I ride with that. That's very important. That was good what you said. And y'all take note of that. This man preaching over here. Y'all know Adam was a preacher. Talk to him, Adam.
Trying to let him know.
But that's real though. That's real. And
that would
about
go a long
understanding
way.
both ends, right?
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. So as far as the economy, what y'all think about that? The money, community. How y'all feel about that? Oh, you like it? She like money, y'all. I'm teaching her well.
Right.
She said,
So let's get to the brass tacks, right? Let's just call it what it is. So usually in an economy, right, if your economy is doing good, a couple of things have to happen. So you have to have investments, right? You have to have both internal or local investments into the economy, as well as external investments into the economy, especially from a commercial aspect. So what happens is once you have that level of investment, whatever those numbers are that end in M or begin to start with B, as in millions and billions, then what happens is that drops the inflation and raises the local hourly rate for pay, right? So right now, like 3 years ago, we didn't have 2 million or over 2 million people in the Gambia.
Right.
So now you're at 2 million plus. And people are still coming weekly.
Still coming, right? And still being born, because the Gambians being born like I guess popcorn being popped, like
right.
There's a lot of children, a lot of babies running around.
For real, I'm telling you.
Right. So so with that, that is a place like for right now, that is why if you're diaspora community and you're trying to come to Gambia, the process is think of something that you can have or use as a business or a way to generate income for yourself, because the local job market is not for you. And it really isn't. It really isn't. The economy's not there yet to support a diaspora salary by comparison to the West or even to Europe. So,
absolutely. The average, their average is $2 a day, $2 to $3 a day as far as salary goes.
Right. And what's some of the top people salaries? I think we mentioned it before. Maybe we just talked about it outside of the.
So a lot of them are, if they're government officials, usually mid-tier or upper tier, mayors and above, or ministers sitting in those positions, whether it be health or transportation or whatever position they're sitting in, or elected officials, however you want to say it. And then I believe underneath that is lawyers, and then everybody else pretty much trickles down from that. And one of the things is you can start to see that the infrastructure is coming. We've seen that with the road improvement, right? With highways being built, multiple highways being built, and they're addressing problems, right? They're addressing traffic issues, and they're also addressing the flood issues, right? So we've seen them dig the holes underneath the roads, the tunnels, to channel water away from the roads and away from the establishments and the businesses that are close or in the vicinity of the highway. So there's a thought process. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times, people may not understand what really goes into establishing, building, sustaining an economy. And it's not just like, okay, we wake up, we say, okay, my business is going to save the economy. Your business is going to contribute to the economy.
Your word.
Absolutely.
But you don't have one person or one group of folks is not going to save the economy. It's going to have to be a collaborative effort from the government, both internally, externally. That's going to have to come from investors, both internally and externally, and all of that stuff. I mean, everything from communities supporting each other. There are several communities there of folks or demographic of folks that are not native to Gambia that are doing well. And something like that, I would say if I would have came over and there would have been a specific diaspora community that was there to liaison and receive myself, my family, and really put out this information that GCO is putting out and talk about some of the issues that are happening on the ground, then that would have been something easily receptive. There are a lot of demographics there that receive folks from their similar demographic. I started with the diaspora, with a lot of the folks from the UK, a lot of folks from not the Lebanese, the Indians, the Germans, a whole bunch of different folks. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But it just makes the transition a little bit easier, especially into an economy you're not familiar with, and into a space you're not familiar with. And it just provides comfort, but it also provides information and understanding.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
say that.
And also, also as far as the economy goes, with the diaspora and with the locals and them collaborating together, a big focus is on how do we empower the locals. As diaspora, we're coming there with a different spending power, right? So how do we empower the locals to have more spending power too? Because like we say, they get paid far less than what we're used to being paid. So that's why they always say, don't go over there and try to start a business. Try to get a job. You want to go over there and try to start a business. So you empower people by putting money in their wallets, by actually having that spending power to go and get a home or get better electricity, have indoor plumbing in their homes and things of that nature. And so having the money circulate within the community is a big and a very important thing. There's a lot of businesses, a lot of large, infrastructure that's not Gambian. And then, that money never goes back to the community. So that's a big way of collaborating. And that's a big way to generate that communication, because again, you empower them by giving them the finances to actually empower themselves.
Right. And I think that this can kind of go back to the literature one as well, because if we as the diaspora reach our hand, out as well when it comes to the language barrier and trying to actively become knowledgeable and literate in their language, at least one of the languages. At least one of the languages. If you know at least one of the languages as well, almost as well as English, and just you're gonna get better and better because you're living there, you're talking to the people, they're gonna teach you, they want to teach you. So if we could learn through that gap, we'll be able to communicate with them better on how to make money, because now I can tell you in your language and it's faster. You'll pick it up easier instead of us kind of having like a break in English. I gotta maybe get a translator or your younger child that knows English better than you. So it's just like, if we can do our part in trying, and they are doing their part in trying, because they know English already. We the only ones that don't know one language. I want to know 2, 3, 4 languages.
Definitely, that go a long way to communicating.
Yeah, I'm definitely with that. And so, since we need to learn another language, do y'all got a word we can learn today in Wolof? We solution focused over here, so we present a problem, but we come with a solution.
Great segue.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so today the word is dafasher. Dafasher means too expensive.
Yes, dafasher. No, dafasher. I like that one.
So
I learned that when I first got there. Yeah. Shout out Fatu. Fatu, appreciate it.
Look, you walk into that store and that price is way, way high. You're like, wait a minute, dafasher. And they'll look at you like, oh, okay, a little bit, And they might try to barter with you and give you that final price. Then you ask for last price.
Yeah, last price. Say, is this the first price or the last price? Oh, I need last.
Right.
I am your sister.
But yeah, dafasher, too expensive. That's the word of Wolof today.
Word of Wolof today.
Nice.
Yeah, I like that. I know that one. I know that one. Now, family, we got anything before we get out the people way today? We appreciate them listening, but do y'all have any more tidbits y'all would like them to know when it comes to collaboration or anything they should take home before we head on out?
I got a real quick note. I just want to say a quick shout out to the Diaspora Community Circle. The admin is Rosemary. If you spend 12 to 15 minutes inside Gambia, you know exactly who Rosemary is. If you're involved in business, you know who Rosemary is. Rosemary has set up a chat group for local business owners, both diaspora and Gambian, and we definitely appreciate that. And that really is in line with our mission statement here at GCO about collaboration is truly celebration, and we learning from each other, trying to get better as we go. So definitely a shout out to her and the chat group and what they're doing.
Absolutely.
They just recently done a youth workshop at the DCC group, and they're involving young folks in understanding business and starting businesses and getting them to think about what businesses they would want to start or build or what need they would want to fill. And I think this is definitely important when we start talking about the future. And this is a combination of diaspora kids and kids from the UK and all around different demographics abroad and there locally in the Gambia. So we definitely want to give her a shout out and give her a star from GCO this week.
Right.
And tell her that we really appreciate what she's doing, and just give her and the team there kudos.
Definitely.
You heard from Willie J himself. Appreciate that. Our greatest gratitude towards
we don't have enough of that already in the States. So it's I can only imagine how much of it they have in Gambia. And to be somebody that's bringing that to an area, especially with it being a smaller place, you're going to affect a lot of people fast.
Absolutely.
And that's just a beautiful thing to think that, you know, your child might be able to attend, your child might be able to go to and learn from and have a completely different experience than you had growing up.
Yep. And another thing to consider about that is, too, you know, like you said, Gambia is small right now. So you never know who your child will befriend, and then when they're adults, they remain friends in that connection.
Right.
You know, you don't know what business connection that could be.
Right.
You don't know what kind of interpersonal relationship that could be. And so you always want to invest in your family. That's the biggest investment you can make.
Right.
There you go.
Like the motto, collaboration is celebration.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. So the GCO Network, we appreciate y'all for taking this time to thrive and vibe with us. And baby girl literally just said she love y'all. She really said, y'all hear?
Yeah.
Love you.
So I ain't even tell her to say that because y'all would have heard me. So we appreciate y'all again for rocking with us and sending peace, love, and joy to you wherever you may be. Until next time, GCO family. Peace.
Peace.
Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.
Oh, you heard him.
And family, remember that we never want you to go off of any of our opinions, any of our so-called facts. Do your own research. Do your own.
That's what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
Peace.